What's going on, guys? It's Snooze603, and joining me today, as always, is Mr. Fake Thriller himself. And today we are going to bring you the Battlefield 3 weapon review follow-up on the AN-94. And for those of you that don't remember, that did not go over too well when we did this review. I still stand by what I said. I don't think it's as good as everyone said it, but before we go into that too much, I'm going to hand it over to Fake Thriller and let him start it off.
So the major change since we last talked about the AN-94 came with the major patch that changed just about everything in the game. But the AN-94 got a little bit more attention from the developers, and according to the post-patch, or the patch note release, it says they tweaked the AN-94 so its burst fire better conveys the real-world advantage offered by this weapon. And for those of you that don't know exactly what that means, in real life, and I'm not pretending to be a gun expert, but I did a little bit of research on the Wikipedias, and the AN-94 in real life has a neat feature where it can fire its 2-round burst so quickly that they follow the exact same path and will land almost like on top of each other from an incredible distance away, making it like crazy deadly. So that's what they did in Battlefield. It's almost a single shot weapon, but it throws out 2 bullets each time you pull the trigger, and they hit the same exact spot for the most part, unless you're suppressed or otherwise affected by hip fire or some sort of accuracy deficit.
So basically, kind of in layman's terms, you could theoretically say that the recoil on this gun has been buffed. It's nowhere near as bad as it used to be. And to me, that was what really stood out about this gun, was like, it didn't matter how you were shooting it. That recoil on that thing was friggin' ridiculous. It made it very, very difficult to shoot anything. You know, that after that first shot, you lost any and all sight of who you were shooting at. And a lot of people gave me trouble, gave me hell about it, saying, "Oh, you didn't give it enough chance," and "Oh, you just don't have the skills to play with it." I'm like, well, I don't know if skills really play into anything when you shoot a gun and your enemy disappears because the recoil is so bad. I don't care what skills you have. You can't shoot at your accuracy is going to suck. / you're not going to be able to shoot at something you just cannot see. And that was the problem I had with that gun.
Well, and another problem, and I'm not necessarily going to blame it on you specifically, but a problem a lot of people could have with this weapon, and I think we mentioned this in the KH 2002 review, and I might have mentioned this in the original AN-94 review, is it's not necessarily a close quarters weapon. If you get up too close to people, you're going to start losing gunfights, because the time it takes between the bursts is going to get you killed when you're going up against a full auto. So it's a tough gun. It's one of those guns that you need to learn. Its role, and you need to play to its strengths. You can't exactly. It's not an all-purpose weapon.
No, I mean, post-patch, I like it. I can make it work pretty much all around, with the exception of the very close quarter, which you just mentioned. But the funny thing about that is, if you look at the comments on our original AN-94 video, people are all over the place. They say, "Oh, no, you gotta use it like a sniper rifle." And then some guys are like, "You're out of your fucking mind and you're stupid, dude. I can use this thing close quarters, no problem." There's no general consensus with this gun, other than a lot of people agreed that it was really good in the long range. And I did agree with that to an extent. It was one of those, the recoil is so bad, and I think I remember what I had said almost exactly was, you really had to burst, let it all come down and completely settle, and then burst again. You had to really give it time in between bursts, or you would just totally lose track of who you were shooting at.
Yeah.
You don't have that problem now.
One of the things that I did notice, it sort of seems to be the case with any of the, either of the burst fire assault rifles or even like the shotguns, is your thumb twitch accuracy needs to be really on par. There's been too many times that I've died in a firefight, and all you PC players can console it up, but I'm trying to get my cursor on somebody, and I flick it to the right, and I go past them, and then I flick it to the left. Like, I flick it to the right, go past them, fire a shot, and miss. And then I overcompensate to the left, fire a shot, and miss. And then I just keep doing that back and forth. And sometimes I'll get lucky and be able to spam it and then still get the kill. But for the most part, it's a gun that you need to be sort of on your game to use, because you need to hit those shots. Like, each pull of the trigger could be the difference between winning the gunfight or losing the gunfight.
Yep. And I will agree to a certain extent with some of the comments that people had dropped before, saying that this gun takes skill over other guns. Yes and no. It's not like some other guns, like the KH-2002 is one of those type of guns where anybody can pick it up with any playstyle regardless, and it kind of works for them. The AN-94, you gotta go through it a couple of games before you really realize, oh, okay, now I understand how to use it. But it doesn't take much more than that. You know, some of you guys in the comments were making it seem like you're gonna put, like, you know, 2 service stars in this before you really get it. So only the true dedicated fans of it, you know, are rewarded with how awesome this gun is, and so on and so forth.
Well, and the key difference between the AN-94 and the KH-2002 is the AN-94 fires a 2-round burst, and the 2002 fires a 3-round burst. And on top of that, the KH-2002 has slightly wider bullet spread for those 3 rounds of each burst. So you can almost fire that more lazily and still get hit markers and eventually get a kill. Whereas the AN-94, it's going to go where you're aiming. And if you're not aiming right, you're going to miss, and you're not going to get the kill.
Right. You know, aside from that, I really like the gun now. Having that 2-burst, or, you know, the 2-shot burst recoil kind of dumbed down a bit, making it more realistic and more on par with what you would expect to get. You know, you're supposed to gain something by giving up the full auto fire going to a burst, and that should be less recoil. And now that they've patched that, I actually really like this gun. I still think it's overrated, and I will stand by that. It's a great gun, but it's not a 5-star gun like a lot of people make it out to be. I would say at best it's a 4-star gun, and that I'll stand behind without a, you know, no problem whatsoever.
4 stars when used properly, kind of a thing. 5 stars in the hands of, you know, whoever is the wonder god that can use this gun in all situations. But as far as attachments, I think we can agree that we both felt most comfortable with the red dot sight of your choice.
Yep.
And then the secondary attachment, were you running a foregrip?
Yeah, you know, I know what the you know, with the patch notes and everything, he was saying that I really shouldn't be using the foregrip, or I don't know, man. It's so confusing. Well, but I've been rocking the foregrip anyway, and I haven't really been noticing anything to really hinder me. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna keep rocking the foregrip because it works for me.
It's honestly, the second attachment's gonna be up to you guys. Foregrip reduces the horizontal sway a little bit, but adds a little bit of inaccuracy when aiming down sights. And the third attachment, I think I was rocking the heavy barrel. Is that what you were using?
Yeah, I was using the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best one because it is a long-range weapon, and the heavy barrel is going to give you the increased damage at long range. So that's probably our recommended loadout. And yeah, so that's our follow-up on the AN-94. Good weapon, solid in the right hands, has a bit of a learning curve, and good gun overall. Good gun.
Yep. Yeah, not too much of a learning curve, but just a little bit. Give it like 2 or 3 games, and beyond that, you're fine. Yeah, it's really not that overly difficult to get used to.
All right, guys, if you want to see the original AN-94 review, it'll be in the description below. You can click that link and go watch what we originally said about it. And we'll catch you guys next time. Hey guys, check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/fakethriller and twitter.com/snoof603.